Today we're going to talk about a tool called the progress curve. This tool is useful when you're running a special meeting, maybe a strategic planning meeting or some kind of a group getting together to discuss something with a goal in mind at the end of the meeting, and usually somewhat protracted, maybe an all-day meeting or a two-day meeting. The important part in the use of this tool is these kinds of meetings, they start out with a goal, a desired end, and there has to be a lot of storming going on to get to that end. Lots of ideas are generated, discussed. Sometimes you go off topic and then you have to bring them back on topic. The progress curve gives you a mechanism for being intentional about being focused on that goal. The idea is this: over the course of the time of this meeting, let's call it one whole day, here's a time axis. You're going to traverse from the beginning of the meeting till the end of the meeting. Time is going to move in that direction. As time moves in that direction, you would like progress towards your goal to increase from 0 to 100%. Now, ideally, if the world was all as ideal as we would like, you would have a graph that looks like that. And lo and behold, at 5 p.m. that day, you have completed your effort. You have achieved your goal. But life isn't always that simple. Things don't always happen the way you wanted. And that curve looks very different. What is important is not what the curve looks like, but what is important is that your audience, the attendees, are very cognizant about what that curve is moving along as, and become intentional as to how they wish to redirect the curve to where they want it to end up. So periodically at the meeting, let us say 2 hours into the meeting, ask everybody at that moment to draw a curve of their own representing how they think for the first 2 hours in that meeting the progress has moved. And each person would draw a different curve. One person might say, oh, this is great, I think we're like that. Another person might say, you know, we've been talking about a lot of things, but we made no progress. They might have a curve that looks like this. But you stop at 2 hours because that's all you've spent so far. Then 2 hours later, at the 4-hour mark, ask them to extend that curve. You might find that the person who was very excited up front might say, you know, I don't know, I think we took a dip. Continue this drawing of the progress curve every couple of hours. What that does is it forces the participants to acknowledge how the progress of the meeting is proceeding, become cognizant of it, but most importantly, become very intentional about how to redirect the conversation so that at the end of the day, you end up here. Don't be perturbed if you find that different people have different curves of the same meeting they all observed. That is not unusual. Don't be perturbed if much time has passed and you have not reached anywhere in the top half of this curve. That too is not uncommon. Just being intentional about the progress will create a greater likelihood that you will end up somewhere there. Take your meeting seriously. To achieve the goals you set out for the meeting, constantly examine the progress curve.